Hey, this is Ron Keel, the metal cowboy from the Ron Keel Band, Steeler, Keel, and more. And we go to 11. Crank it up and keep it up.
Why don't you just make 10 louder and make 10 be the top number and make that a little louder?
These go to 11.
So Ron,
Hey.
always a great time chatting with you because we always
Let me shut off my phone.
go for it.
I'm
Go
listening
for it.
to KRFK radio.
Oh, there. Yep. You gotta.
Am I correct in assuming or KNAC.com is no longer broadcasting? Is that the deal?
KNAC.com doesn't broadcast. There was some kind of a thing with their, I think, licensing or something.
Yeah, it's
for
expensive, man.
stuff.
It's
Yeah.
expensive. I paid my bill. I paid
Yeah,
my
you
bill.
do. You do. And I know it was.
KRFKradio.com, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, the new website.
And-
It's just right. Sorry, man. We have a new show premiering. Well, it premiered last week, but it's the Rock and Roll Happy Hour, which starts right now. And I
Nice.
always try to listen in, man. I'm a fan too.
Sure.
But I'm a fan of Ruben Mosqueda, and
Oh.
I appreciate you and the invitation to talk to rock, brother.
Right. And it's always, like I said, what I was saying, it's always a good time chatting with you because we always get a little nugget of information that I didn't know before. And being
Not
a
today,
long time,
brother. No nuggets today.
no nuggets today,
I'm
but
just going to shut up and let
There
you
you
do all
go.
the talking.
now, oh, well, then this is going to end quick. I hate listening to myself talk, to be honest, but,
All right. But,
so-
nice listening to you, Ruben. Have a great day.
we'll see you
Bye.
later. Hope the hand's doing better. So
Oh
how
my
is
gosh.
the injury?
It's not good, man. You know, it's healing. It's getting better, but it's not going to be 100% for a couple of months, and I'm anxious to play again. So,
Right.
kids, you know, one of the stories of my life, a pivotal moment in my career was 1986. Keel was booked to do the entire opening slot on the Metallica tour in 86. It was our big break. I mean, Final Frontier had just been released. We're going on tour with Metallica, and it's going to be our big breaking point, right? And James Hetfield falls off a skateboard and breaks his wrist.
Right.
Tour's canceled. So we sat at home. We did a few gigs with Quiet Riot and some other bands. You know, we did some gigs, but we lost the entire Metallica tour because James Hetfield broke his wrist skateboarding. And now, finally, 40 years later, I can sympathize because
Yeah,
and
right.
I can't play guitar right now, but in a few weeks I'll be back in action, and at least I can still talk to rock with you.
Well, why not? I mean, yeah, and I think this gives you a little bit of, probably a needed break to But you're always on the go, always a hustler type, like always selling. Like you just did the app, promotion for the app, which is great. I think you're always out there. Always pitching the wares, as they say.
Always, and I'm always working. I mean, the core of everything I do, Ruben, is music. And I sing, I play, I write, I create. Music is the exact center of my universe. And so I figured, well, I can't play. I'll just sing, right? I'll come in here and I'll do some vocal sessions. We're working on a new Steeler album right now. And, I've lots of stuff that I have to do behind the mic. And I realized the first session, I've got this bad habit of clenching my fists when I sing. I'm like, I'm doing it.
Right.
By the end of the vocal session, my hand is killing me. I can't even sing without my hand. But the vocal sessions turned out all right. It just really hurt. So yeah, I'm always busy. I'm always grinding away. But the music is at the core of everything I do.
Right. Real quick before we get into all things right to rock here. For the 40th anniversary, which, those things creep up on you. It seems like it was just yesterday. I was watching the video on MTV, and here we are 40 years later. I mean, I guess we're both seasoned men now.
Seasoned. Adult gentlemen.
Yeah, there you go.
Maybe not so gentle.
But real quick, on the front end, I know you just signed, I think, Bad Marriage, right? So that's like
right.
a new signing. So tell us a little bit about that, because that includes Tommy Skio, formerly of Tesla, and then he also did, what was the Resist and Bite? That was the most recent thing he did.
Well, Bad Marriage has been on my radar for a long time. And they really made an impression upon me when, out of the blue, they sent me a copy of their vinyl. It's been a few years ago. It was the last vinyl release they did. They sent me a package because I featured them on the radio show and I played their song. They sent me a vinyl, stickers, CD, autograph photo, the whole package. And that's not cheap, you know, to do that for every radio station that plays your music. And that really made an impression upon me. It told me those guys are grateful, they're serious, they're hardworking, they're looking to make it. And that relationship has built over the past few years as I had them on my radio show. I interviewed Mike Fitz and Tommy Skio, and I've been a supporter and a fan of their music. And it's just a great catch for RFK Media to sign a band that really does all the heavy lifting for you. These guys are the hardest working band. Great music, great stage presence, and a great chemistry with each other and with the fans. So we're excited to release the new Bad Marriage album on RFK Media this summer. It's called Match Made in Hell. Wait till you hear this, man. This is real American hard rock the way it was meant to be, and we're really proud to have them on our roster.
Right. And I imagine having Tommy on board really helps because, again, I kind of was familiar with them, had heard the name, but I think once you heard the connection of Skio coming on board, it's like, well, maybe check out some of the material they already have.
It does add some credibility that they've added Tommy to the mix the last couple of years. Kind of like having Ron Keel in your band. I guess you might get some interview requests.
Yeah, right. But how heavy is that band going to be? Because that'll be like a triple guitar threat now.
Well, triple guitars are no stranger, to rock and roll. We've had that since Skinner. Leatherwolf, Keel was a triple guitar band.
That's true.
Keel, we had Mark Ferrari, Brian Jay, and Ron Keel all playing guitar at the same time. Ron Keel Band. So it's not, except is another band that is still carrying on that three guitar tradition. When they brought in a new guy, they kept the old guy, and just so you have that rhythm powering through when the other guys are doing harmony solos. It makes the music fatter, bigger, stronger, better.
Right. Yeah. And you just had another band on the roster on the Monsters of Rock cruise. So a big, lots of stuff happening there with the label.
Yeah. A Cold Sweat crushed it on the Monsters of Rock cruise. We've got their vinyl edition of Unburied Alive coming out next month in May. And it's got a brand new Cold Sweat song on the vinyl edition, a bonus track.
Oh, wow.
Called Loud and Forever, the first new Cold Sweat music in years.
Right.
So, like it or not, I'm still in two bands with Mark Ferrari.
Right.
Of course, Keel is forever. And to be working with Mark Ferrari and Roy Cathy, Chris McClernand, Anthony White, and Eric Kamens and Cold Sweat. It's great to have these bands on our label that have major label experience or major credibility in our industry. We've been really lucky. We work hard, and we're hoping for the best for all these projects. I can tell you, Cold Sweat it's been great to have them on the label, and they have made us some money.
Right.
The reception to Unburied Alive has been worthwhile. It's a great record with great songs that nobody's ever heard before, and live songs from back in the day and from their 2020 reunion on the Monsters of Rock cruise.
Right.
So it's a great release. I'm really proud of it. Great to have those guys on board, and great to always be working with my heroes like Mark Ferrari.
There you go. I do have to add, yeah, you're right. I think what makes that album a little more special, I think, for some of the folks is that the performance, some of the material, most of the material on there is from that pre-party for the Monsters of Rock cruise in, I forget what year it is, but I was there. So, it's another little, yeah. So it's a nice little keepsake of sorts.
The live recordings are amazing. And, originally Chris McClernand, the bass player who is part of our RFK Media family, also from Saigon Kick, and he produced the new album from the Fifth, which you're going to hear very soon. Mm-hmm. He sent me those 4 tracks thinking that maybe we could use one of these songs for the Fifth or one. I said, hold on, man. Mm-hmm. You got 4 unheard, unreleased Cold Sweat songs from 1991. We're putting this out, man. We're going to release this. We're going to share it with the world. This is great music, and it's unburied treasure. it's unburied alive, and we're really proud of that Cold Sweat release. The vinyl comes out early May, and we're excited to be a part of keeping that legacy alive.
Right. Nice. Well, I think we covered all bases leading up to this. So 40th anniversary of the Right to Rock, which again, it seems like time just kind of blew by it seemed like just a couple years ago, a decade.
Yeah.
I was watching the video, and I mean, even though it had been years, even though they had like the VH1 Classic, I mean, that video wound up on that in fairly heavy rotation as well. I mean, it seemed like if they went to a go-to, it was always Right to Rock, it seems like. And then Because the Night too, from one of your other videos, and then I think Somebody's Waiting. So I mean, there you go. It covers different eras of Keel, but we're focusing here on Right to Rock. So all right, so I'm trying to dig up. Yeah, there you go. Nice. I was trying to dig up something kind of more of a deeper type question, but this is the second Keel album coming off Lay Down the Law, which was Shrapnel Records, you guys, which also released the Steeler record. So you had a pretty good relationship there with Barney, I imagine, huh?
Absolutely. Mike Varney has been a friend and supporter from day one since, 1982. And still a part of my family and our music. He produced the lead guitar tracks on the new Steeler track, Give Me Guitars or Give Me Death,
right,
from the Keelworld album. So we're still working with Mike, and I love him dearly. He's been a big factor in my career. And the Late on the Law record, which was the first Keel record you mentioned, our debut album, really got lost in the shuffle because at the time, we were just finishing up Late on the Law in the summer of '84. We were in Northern California finishing the mixes and got the call to come back to LA to showcase for the majors. Keel was hot. Everybody wanted to hear it. Everybody wanted to see it. So even during the sessions, we flew back to LA, did the showcases, got signed to our major label record deal with Gold Mountain/A&M Records. And the first album wasn't even finished yet when we met with Gene Simmons and decided to produce The Right to Rock. And Gene was in a hurry. He had the Asylum tour. Was it Asylum? I think I should know this. Animalize. I should know my history. Animalize.
Yeah.
Kiss was leaving on tour in September, and he had to have the record finished before he left on tour with Kiss. So it was literally overnight when I played him The Right to Rock, the song, when he said, I'm going to produce this record, but we've got to start Tuesday, man. We got to get busy because I'm going on tour with Kiss in a few weeks.
Right.
So we went in the studio literally with one song. And when you talk about The Right to Rock, I think we have to differentiate between the album and the song itself.
Right.
The album is a piece of history from that mid-'80s rock metal revolution that is a special part of our fans' lives and our history, and a very well-loved album, and was, at the time, the fastest-selling debut album in A&M Records history. But the song itself, The Right to Rock, has its own life and its own identity. I can tell you right now, I'm going to go on stage this summer and sing The Right to Rock for thousands of people who don't know who the hell I am. And they're all going to have their fists in the air and they're all going to be singing along because that song is timeless and iconic. Luckily, we struck gold, literally fire in a bottle, lightning in a bottle, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
It was just the right song at the right time and became, in my opinion, one of the cornerstone anthems of 80s metal.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's a good way to put it, anthem, because like you said, regardless of whether somebody's familiar with Keel, Ron Keel, solo artist, or Ron Keel Band, I think you perform that tune and it's almost like people get the vibe for it instantly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it works every time. I do that song at every show I do, whether it's a full band show or even an acoustic show. I do The Right to Rock and everybody puts their fist in the air and sings along, because we all have that
Right.
feeling, that energy upon which the song was written and founded, that freedom of expression. We have
Right.
the right to be ourselves, to enjoy ourselves, to do what we love, and live every day to the fullest. And that song embodies all of those sentiments and emotions perfectly.
Right. Now, as far as with the sequencing, I mean, you put that to open the record, which again, you start the record with an anthem like that. I mean, were you guys at all concerned that you throw in probably the best tune, to launch the record instead of building it up? I mean, what was the thought there, and would you resequence it somewhere else? What do you
Oh,
think?
no. I think that was a no-brainer. We never even talked about that. Obviously, that was your signature song. If people were going to hear one song from Keel, it should be The Right to Rock. And even when we started playing it live, we would open with it at times, and even still at times now. The Ron Keel Band, my band, opens the show with The Right to Rock. It's start strong, finish strong, man.
Right.
Hopefully, I think it was a great call. And you don't want, back then, it was work to listen to an album. You got to
Sure.
take the record out of the sleeve and put
Sure.
it on the turntable and
Yeah.
put the needle down. And it was work. You didn't just click a button. So you want that first song to be the one that identifies your band, your sound, your attitude, and everything else that follows that. Hopefully they'll keep the needle down and keep listening.
Right. Right. So, okay, so you're saying then with Gene, he had, this is around the time he had all those different irons in the fire, and he had to move quickly with everything, whether it was the acting, whether it was Kiss or any outside stuff. So thoughts on that? Did you think you had enough time to get this thing done, or thinking back now, what would you have done differently, I guess?
We were all young and learning. I mean, from a band standpoint, from my standpoint, I just got signed to a major label. I'm 23 years old. At the time, I felt like I was a seasoned veteran, but now 40 something years later,
Right.
I was very young,
Right.
and didn't really know the process of making a major label album. Gene was our mentor, our guiding light, our coach in every facet of that process.
Right.
And he didn't let it show then, and he didn't talk about it then, but he's talked about it since, about how he was still learning. And he's thrust in this position of being a producer. He produced the Wendy O. Williams album. I think was his only previous real production outside of Kiss.
Right.
So he was learning on the job as well. And we were all just trying to figure it out and get it done on time, under budget, and on schedule. So when you have somebody like Gene Simmons leading the charge, you've got no choice but to follow, and to follow his instincts and suggestions and do what he said. And he captured a very special moment in time with a young band that was hungry, that was loud and on fire. And the experience was surreal, to say the least. When we went over budget and behind schedule, and Gene had to leave for the Animalize tour, we stayed in New York. Brian J. and I, we would tag team, lead guitars and lead vocals. And Gene would fly out to do shows with Kiss. He'd have a day off or 2 days off. He'd fly back to New York, and we would resume the sessions. The guy's obviously a workaholic, and his work ethic is unmatched. So if he's got a day off, he's flying back to New York, and he's going to record Keel music with me and Brian. Brian would do, I would do the lead vocals in the morning. I'm a morning guy. I've always been a morning singer. I like getting up, having my coffee, working out, having breakfast, hitting the studio, and belting it out. So I would do my vocals probably from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. And then when I'm spent and I'm hoarse and I'm trashed, Brian would come in and play lead guitars in the evening for the rest of the session. So that was how we got the record completed in the fall of 1984. And a couple of great stories from the session that you might not have heard that I've told before, but I don't tell them often enough. I came in, my girlfriend at the time, who became my wife, is now my ex-wife. She was pregnant with my first child, Kelly Keel, my daughter, who I'm absolutely in love with. But I'm a 23-year-old expectant father, and my daughter is about to be born. I didn't know it was a daughter at the time. We didn't know back then. You didn't have all that science. My first child was about to be born. And the due date was impending. And I'm trying to get done with the sessions in time to get back to LA to be there for the birth of my daughter. So it's really the tail end of the recording sessions. I'm almost done. Couple of fixes, couple of screams. I come in that morning, and the engineer, Mikey Davis, is Ron. He didn't want to tell me this, man. He looked at me, almost kind of tried to look at me, and he said, I was cleaning up the tracks last night. What you do is cleaning up tracks is you go in and you clean up the burps and the farts and the pops in between the vocal lines. You know, you make sure the vocal's clean, and you clean up the spots where I'm talking or taking a drink or burping or whatever in between the vocal line. He erased, and he told me, Ronnie, I erased the lead vocals or Speed Demon, and You're the Victim, I'm the Crime. I accidentally erased them, and they're gone. There's no recovery of the hard drive back in 1984, man. Right. Those vocals are erased, they're gone. And I'm heading to the airport. I'm ready to get back on a plane to go to be there at the birth of my daughter. So there's no choice. You got to get back in the studio, get in front of the mic, and sing those two again. Those are two of the heaviest, screamingest songs on the record.
Yeah.
So I went in and I resung those. I think I probably, looking back, I wish I would have not been under that pressure. And the original vocals were incredible, especially on Late on the Law. Both of those songs were on the Late on the Law album as well. Yeah. And I'm much prouder of the Late on the Law versions than I am the Right to Rock versions, but that's my bad. I was in a hurry to get home to be there at the birth of my daughter, and I kind of rushed through that last day of sessions to get those two songs cut. But that is what it is, man. That's why there's no harmony vocals on either song. It's just one track of lead vocal, and I'm out of here. That's all you get.
Okay, so that's good backstory, because I was going to bring up the fact that they made a reappearance or reemerged on the follow-up album. So
we had no choice, Ruben, because when we're rewinding the conversation back to when I met Gene, we were still finishing up Late on the Law. We didn't have any new songs. We're still in the studio making our first record. So there's no new material. We haven't been writing. We're not ready to get signed or make a record. But we got signed, and Gene Simmons is producing, and we got to start Tuesday. We had that one track, The Right to Rock, which was born out of, and I've told this story a million times too, but I never get tired of telling it. We're in the studio, and I get to produce the record. Mike Varney gave me total control to produce Late on the Law, the debut Keel album. And we put all the guys in separate rooms with long cables to isolate the instruments. And you get the drum sounds and the mix, and you get the guitar sounds, and you get everything going. But once you've got the sounds, you've got to have the guys play something so you can get a blend and get a mix. So I hit the talkback button and I said, guys, just jam something, play me something so I can get a blend of the instruments and get a mix. And Mark Ferrari, launched into that riff. And I just hit record. Literally, I just hit record, play and record right then and there. And the guy started jamming along with him. And, and we never heard this song. It was just Mark making up something on the fly. Right. And the guys are jamming along. And that was the recording of that riff, that idea of the Right to Rock song. That's all I had to take to Gene. That day, okay, you're meeting with Gene Simmons on Thursday. And I didn't have anything to play for it. We didn't have any new music. It's like, all I had was that cassette tape of that jam.
Mm-hmm.
But I had written lyrics for it. And I knew it was going to be called The Right to Rock. And I put that cassette in Gene's boombox in his hotel room. Just the music with Mark jamming in the session recording that I did as the guys, we were getting a mix. I put that cassette tape in the boombox in Gene Simmons' hotel room and hit play. And I started singing, "Oh, man, as soon as I said The Right to Rock, he hit stop on the boombox. He said, I'm producing this record. And we're going to start
Nice.
Tuesday.
Wow.
That's it,
Gee.
man.
So that was it. But that's interesting because again, that kind of shows how sometimes the magic just happens and you happen to capture it and then it evolves into something like
Oh,
The
it's
Right to Rock.
magic upon magic upon
Right.
magic. The fact that, we're in the studio making a record thanks to Mike Vardy and creating our debut album, Lay Down the Law, and the fact that I'm able to be in control and produce the record, and that I had the foresight at that moment. I heard that riff. Just two fingers back there. It was two fingers, playing and recording. You had to hit both at the same time. Play and record. Hit record on the 24-track machine. And to capture that moment, which would have been lost if we hadn't recorded it, we'd have forgotten it. We'd have moved on with the session. So we had capturing that magic. And then that magic of meeting with Gene. I mean, Gene's my hero, man. He's like the god of thunder. I mean, literally, I 7 years prior to that, I was at my first concert, seeing Kiss in the front row, all freaking out, getting his spitting blood on me and catching his guitar pick in the air. I was a huge Kiss fan. So 7 years later, I'm sitting in a hotel room with this guy. He's been producing my record. Are you kidding me? It's absolute magic. And I'm so blessed, so lucky, very fortunate in so many ways. But that was magic upon magic when we had that song. And that's the song that sold Gene. That's the song that sold all the bands that are still there with me to this day, 40-something years later. The album cover itself, iconic piece of artwork. That song, The Right to Rock. It, like I said, man, I'll go on stage this summer at these big gigs. And at a lot of these shows, man, I'll be honest with you, if you play a big biker event like the Sturgis Rally, and you've got 10,000 bikers out there from all over the world, a lot of them don't know who Ron Keel is. They don't know about Keel. They don't know about Ron Keel, but they hear that song and it resonates. They put their fist in the air and they sing along. It's really special, and I'm really, really thankful that that was the foundation of my career. Of course, after you write a song like that, you're always looking for the next one, right?
Yeah.
Well, you're chasing. Well, we wrote that one. We should write 10 more just like that one. And it's not that easy, man.
Right.
You chase these anthems, these songs that mean a lot to me. Songs like Wild Forever, When This Is Over, Hard on the Outside, some of these other anthems that have become part of the fabric of my career. I'm very proud of all of them, but you're always chasing that special feeling that really resonates with an audience that is timeless, and The Right to Rock truly is timeless.
Right. So with the I guess, I don't know, would you say repurposing of Speed Demon and then You're the Crime? How did you determine it was going to be those two tunes that you want? Did you have like a selection of previously used stuff off the Lay Down the Law that you wanted to stick in there, and you had room or space for two, and those were the two? Or were there front runners for that? Yeah.
How that process unfolded that week after I met Gene. All right, so I meet Gene. He commits. I'm going to produce this record. We're going to start Tuesday. And I said, well, dude, we don't have any songs. We can't make a record Tuesday because we don't have any new songs. I tell you what I'll do. I'll go home and write 2 songs tonight. We got The Right to Rock. That's our cornerstone. That's our foundation, right? I'm going to go write 2 songs tonight. And I did. Back to the City, and Electric Love. I wrote those songs that same night. Of course, I'm all juiced up after meeting with Gene. I'm fired up. I got a record deal. Gene Simmons is producing my debut album. It's you're on cloud nine, 2 feet off the ground, right? So I went home that night and wrote Back to the City and Electric Love.
Nice.
Even still, you got 3 songs. That's not an album. I told Gene the next day, I said, well, I got these 2 other songs. He said, well, why don't we take 3 songs off Late on the Law? Let's Spend the Night Together. You're the Victim, I'm the Crime, which we retitled tonight. It was Tonight You're Mine on the Late on the Law. He said, let's retitle this one, You're the Victim, I'm the Crime, and we'll do Speed Demon. So we got 3 songs we'll redo off Late on the Law. And how about you pick 3 of my songs to record on your album? So he gave me a demo on cassette of all the reject Kiss songs from Animalize. And I chose 3 songs, my 3 favorite songs that fit our identity the best, which was So Many Girls, So Little Time, Easier Said Than Done, and Get Down.
Right.
So we have 3 Gene Simmons songs on the Right to Rock, 3 re-records from Late on the Law, and 3 new songs, Right to Rock, Back to the City, and Electric Love.
Nice. Yeah, and were there any on your guys' part, or were you just going with it, to repurpose the Let's Spend the Night Together on there again, being that it was the Stones cover, obviously, but was it just kind of like, let's go with it, Gene wants us to do this, or how did that come to be?
That was Gene's call, man. Gene is the producer. I'm a firm believer in whoever's producing the record. I felt this way then. I still feel this way now. Whoever's producing the record is the coach of the team. He's in charge. You follow his lead. He calls the plays, you execute the plays. And that was Gene's call. We all felt it was a strong possibility for a single.
Right.
I think it should have been the second single from the Right to Rock. Easier Said Than Done was a half single. It was released as a 12-inch to radio, and we did a remix of it. But we never had a video or a real proper single treatment. Right. The label was ecstatic. I can tell you right now, Ruben, they didn't expect Keel to make that much noise.
Right.
They thought 500,000 records, man. That's you guys doubled our expectation.
Sure.
You guys are good. Why don't you just come home and make a new record? No, we're going. No, you got to release another single. Let's stay on the road. Let's milk this thing. And Let's Spend the Night Together should have been a single from that record. It's a great commercial hard rock anthem in the Stones and Keel combined. Who doesn't want to spend the night together? I mean, to me, it was a slam dunk and a no brainer. But the label was just happy; they're pleased. We quadrupled our money. We got Gene real cheap. We got the band real cheap. The record was under budget. Well, we were under budget, but it was a slim budget compared to the 80s records that were made. I think we made Right to Rock for $50,000 maybe. Which was not much back then for an album budget with Gene Simmons producing. The video was expensive. The video cost us about $150,000 for that Right to Rock video, which you're still watching.
Yeah, right.
Tumbling out of the window onto the motorcycle.
Exactly.
The video cost 3 times what the album costs.
That's nuts, isn't it? I mean,
it is. It was always that way back then, Ruben. You would spend $50,000 on a record and $150,000 on a video. It just didn't make sense to me. But MTV was what sold us.
Right.
That Right to Rock video it's an iconic piece, man. It's a very entertaining video, a real piece of 80s metal history, and it's priceless and timeless. But at the time, you're thinking, at the time we didn't care. Just go ahead and spend the money. We're going to be huge. We're going to be triple platinum. You can spend all the money you want. Put it on my tab, right? And nowadays we get people bitching. Don't get me started on. And I already started. I guess I opened the can of worms on the Spotify bullshit, where everybody's bitching about Spotify doesn't pay enough. And dude, are you kidding me? We used to spend $150,000 a day to create a video that would go on a free streaming platform, which was called MTV.
Right.
You know, it's a streaming platform. It's on your TV, right?
Sure.
On your cable TV. MTV, they didn't pay you a dime. And you'd spend 150 grand just hoping that they would play your video.
Right.
So I don't get the bitching about Spotify.
Right.
You know why? We do get paid from streams. It's not much. And yeah, could it be more? I'd love it to be more. I've got a ton of stuff out there I'd like to get paid for, but the reality is it's exposing your music to a mass audience. And that's what MTV was all about. That's what Spotify's all about. Nobody bitched about MTV not paying royalties. You know?
Right. Right.
We were just glad to get played.
And going back to the video again, like with any with majority of the stuff, it has that vibe of the times. It is dated, but it's still cool. I mean, you have people, you've been on the Monsters of Rock. You're going to see people that try to dress like you guys were dressing on there now. So I mean, that's something in itself. You know, it's got that level of influence.
Yeah, it was a cultural thing. You know, and I'm very happy to have been a part of that cultural revolution that was 80s metal and 80s hard rock. And very much, you know, from a nostalgic standpoint, I get it. I like to watch, and I'm right outside the room here, I have my home gym. This is my fan cave where all the gifts that you see, everything on this wall, were all gifts from fans. This is my little shrine where I do interviews and all that. But I got my recording studio over there. I've got my in-house stage on this corner where I perform and sing and rehearse. And on the other side of the wall is my office and my home gym. And when I go in the gym and I'm on the treadmill, I watch these cheesy old 1950s sci-fi movies. And on the treadmill,
right.
Just the Plan 9 from outer space, or the Abominable Snowman, you know, from 1950s movies. And they're so cheesy, and they're so slow, and they're so lame. And I just enjoy that nostalgia. The Right to Rock video is very much nostalgia for those of us who lived through it. Those fans that grew up addicted to MTV and their radio, and those people that went to the record store and bought this album. They had to actually collect their allowance from mom and dad. Then they had to walk to the record store, and then they had to go through the bins, and then they had to see this. They see this, and go, oh, that looks fucking cool. I think I'll buy that. And they bought that, and they have to buy it. Then they have to walk all the way home, and then they have to put it on their turntable.
Right.
Then they have to put a needle on it. And you know, that nostalgia. You know, I love it. I'm a victim of it as well. Going back to the old days, who doesn't want to relive their childhood? I'm a little different because I never had to grow up. I'm still the same dude. I mean, I've learned a lot. I'm experienced. I've got business sense. I have to run a business. I have to look at the spreadsheets. I have to do interviews and take care of my business and all that. But still, man, I'm that same 17-year-old kid. I love going to the record store and finding a rare piece of vinyl or something and bringing it home, put it on my turntable. That spirit of the 80s and that nostalgia of who we were then and where we were then is totally embodied in that Right to Rock music video from 1985.
Right. Nice. One thing that came to mind that I wanted to throw out there, because I had always heard that, but I guess I have you here so you can confirm. Was there any truth to the fact that at some point Fred Coury was in the mix as far as drumming for Keel before Steve Riley came on board? Because, I mean, he did the record, but eventually he had to split too, and you replaced him with Dwayne.
Yes, correct. Fred was in the band for a couple of days after I fired Bobby Marks.
Yeah.
We got signed to a record deal. It's an old wound for me. And I'm always gonna feel bad of having to make those tough decisions as a businessman and a band leader. When you have to fire your best friend, it's not fun.
Right.
But but we got a record deal, and now it's our chance. We have a shot. We have a major label deal, and Gene Simmons is producing the album. And I had to fire Bobby. So I brought Fred in for a couple of days. Fred didn't feel like the situation was right for him. He's still family.
Sure.
And I saw him last summer. He was there for the Steeler video shoot that we did last summer. And his Freddie is still family. Brought Freddie in, and he felt the gig wasn't for him. So he went home to New York. I brought in Barry Brandt the next day from Angel. And
That's right. Yeah.
Barry, of course, the drummer from Angel. I mean, he's headlined arenas before. He's a seasoned veteran, and he's got we got a record deal. It's not like we're trying to make it. I mean, we've got a record deal, and we're starting Tuesday. So I had a lot to offer him as well. And Barry came in, and literally was just drum solo through every song. I'm just going, no, dude, I need a groove.
Right.
I need a groove. And Barry was just, so the first day, it's like, it's Barry Brandt, man. Just let him do what he wants to do. And he'll come around. Gene will whip him into shape, right? And the next day he comes in, he's not learning songs or grooves. He's not matching the bass pattern of the song. He's just drum soloing through it. Just drum soloing. And I thought, well, it's cool. It's Barry Brandt. I mean, the guy played an Angel.
Right.
I mean,
Sure.
So after the third day of rehearsal, this is, I think, Sunday, or no, this is Saturday. We're starting Tuesday. This is Saturday.
Oh, wow.
Barry comes to me and says, well, I need the day off tomorrow. I can't rehearse tomorrow. And I said, why? He said, well, I have to go dove hunting.
Oh.
I said, can you move your kit? He said, why? I said, so the new drummer can set up. You're not taking the day off to go dove hunting? We're the city on Tuesday, you idiot.
Yeah.
You want to take the day off, take the rest of your
Sure.
life off.
Right.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
So I said, can you move your kit? And he did. And the next day, Stephen Riley showed up. He was the next on my list of, you got A, B, C, D,
Right.
list of drummers.
Sure.
Stephen Riley, I called Stephen, and he came in and just laid it down. Gene came in the next day. Literally, we're one day away from Gene Simmons coming into our rehearsal room and putting the hammer down.
Mm-hmm.
And Stephen learned the tunes, but laid the groove down, and Gene Simmons came in, and I never told the record company or the manager or anybody. I didn't tell anybody that we're having this revolving door of drummers.
Right.
I didn't want to raise any red flags. Yeah, we're good. No, we're good. We're good.
Yeah.
I got this, right?
Right.
So Gene came in the next day without any idea that Stephen Riley had just joined the band the day before. And Gene came in and matched the kick patterns, the bass and the kick, and orchestrated the endings and the intros and the counts, and did his pre-production thing without ever knowing that Stephen Riley had been in the band for less than a day. So that was that's how that drummer story unfolded the week we got signed. Stephen came in, did a great job on the sessions, and will always be part of the Keel family.
Yeah. Drummer anxiety. I mean, or Ron Keel anxiety about drummers, I guess. Geez, can I go dove hunting?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'm pretty sure it was dove hunting. There was another guy. There's two. I was notorious back then. I think it was either dove hunting or I have to paint my house. And I forget which guy they both got fired on the spot. I need the day off tomorrow because I have to paint my house. Goodbye. Fuck your house.
Yeah, right.
Fuck your doves.
Right. Oh man.
We're here to play music.
Right.
So, yeah, I still have a little bit of that Ron Keel left in me. So I'm still a hard ass. I still lead a strong team. I lead by example. I show my guys that the music and the work comes first. Once you put the work into the music and you do your job, then you can go on the road or go on stage or go in the studio and enjoy the experience. But all that work has to be done beforehand.
Out of curiosity, so Steve Riley cuts the drums for the album and stuff, but how soon thereafter does he depart, and then you're having to have more drummer anxiety?
Oh, dude, we're in the studio. We're in the studio still, an electric plant. record plant
Mhm.
in LA, cutting the record. Drums are done, but I'm still doing vocals. And Steven comes into the session and Ron, I need to talk to you. And we went in the private recording booth together. He says, man, I'm gonna have to exit the band. I'm joining Wasp.
Mhm.
Blackie's offered me $300 a week. I couldn't
Oh,
match that. That's $300 a week.
$300
man. Are you
bucks.
kidding me? That's
Right.
big bucks back then.
Sure.
I
Yeah.
couldn't match that. So he quit the band during the sessions.
Oh.
The record wasn't finished yet, but I wished him well. We stayed friends. He got paid for the session,
Mhm.
and I immediately called the next guy on the list. It was
Right.
Dwayne Miller, who's still the drummer in Keel and still
Right.
one of the best friends of my entire life and one of the greatest rock drummers of all time. 42 years later, Dwayne is still there working hard and delivering the goods. On the new Steeler track and on the new Keel track, Moving Target from the Keelworld album. So Dwayne was a huge blessing that I was very fortunate that he was available and willing to come out and join the band. And so from then on, even during the Right to Rock sessions, Dwayne Miller was the drummer in Keel.
Nice. Wow. That's a jam-packed, I don't know how long we've been chatting, 40 plus, 45 plus minutes of Keel, Right to Rock talk. But
And a year a minute. I think that's our goal.
there you
It's
go.
been 40
40
years.
Yeah,
So
40 years. So
40
we got-
minutes. 40
we
minutes is
squeezed it
good.
in there. Although I do want to mention a
absolutely.
couple things, because you mentioned Keelworld, and to me, love the record. Again, my 3 go-to songs, which when I did that review for KNAC.com, are still as noted on there. One, Taking Me Back, Faster Horses, and then well, I like Moving Target, but I gotta say, for me, let me see. I'm gonna make because I always go to a Hard on the Outside. I mean, that always beats Moving Target by edges it out a little. If I was going with 3 songs, it'd be those 3. If I'm going with 4, I'd say Moving Target and throw that in there as well. But there's something about those 4 tunes.
That means a lot to me, Ruben. Thank you. Those are very special songs for me. And I hope they don't get lost in the shuffle. I kind of expected that when you come out with a new album and you've got all these bands and projects and songs on this new album, Keelworld, people are going to gravitate to the new Steeler song or the new Keel song.
Right.
And I knew that it was going to be a tough battle to give those songs that you just mentioned the attention they deserve.
Right. It was kind of interesting because I did get a the advance copy of that, but I'm like, I'm going to go to Moving Target first. That's where I started actually when I got the download of it, and then eventually picked up the physical copy and stuff. But I started with that one because it was like, well, brand new Keel tune, so let's start with that, and then
Of
just
course.
kind of work our way around it, then listen to it properly in its proper sequence. But again, those 3-4 songs always hit the spot. Like if I'm popping that CD in the Jeep and driving and doing errands and going to work or whatnot, I usually gravitate towards those 3-4 songs. So
I appreciate that. We're cut from the same cloth. And I do love every song on the record. Obviously, they wouldn't be there if I didn't love them, if they weren't an important part of the fabric of my life, my career, my music. Those 3 songs you mentioned, Hard on the Outside, Faster Horses, and Taking Me Back, are extremely special songs for me. I do believe that music does not have a shelf life. Music continues on. I remember that lesson from high school when I was playing in the school orchestra, and we were playing classical compositions on sheet music that were 500 years old. And I thought that was so cool how this guy 500 years ago, Beethoven, Brahms, Chopin, whatever, they wrote this music out on these pieces of paper. And now 500 years later, we're playing their music.
Right.
That, I think, instilled in me the belief that music is timeless and music is forever. I would love to see every song on this record played live and have a music video to accompany it. And hopefully we'll accomplish that in the year to come.
Right. Again, going back to the tunes, there's something about the storytelling. I think Faster Horses, Taking Me Back. I mean, those, yeah. I mean, there's something there with those two tunes and other tunes on the
Man, I
album. But
appreciate
again,
that. That means a
there's
lot to me.
something about
If
the
you're
storytelling.
watching and you're listening, take Ruben's advice. Listen to the new album, Keelworld, and listen to his 3 favorites and 3 of my favorites, Faster
Right.
Horses, Heart on the Outside, and Taking Me Back. Who doesn't want to go back? That's
Right.
what this is all about, man. The 80s or our childhood or whatever. Taking Me Back is all about going back to where you came from and revisiting those memories and those good times that made us who we are.
Right, exactly. So, Ron, I don't know if we missed anything. I mean, we even went obscure and talked drummers. You know, we dug deep into the drummer seat here during the recording of the Right to Rock. We talked Right to Rock video, Right to Rock being the album, Right to Rock the anthem that is the title tune, and all the various assortment of tunes and how they made it onto the record. Some tunes that were previously used and you know were repurposed for the album in a new form. You talked a little bit about the tour. You know, the only thing I can think of is in closing, because this is going to be for We Go to 11, again, Spinal Tap-esque type of title here. But I'm thinking, can you think of a Spinal Tap-esque type moment of either the recording of, I mean, aside from the drummer mishaps here,
Oh my God.
or any tour dates along the way during that time period that you go, well, that's
Are you
Spinal
kidding
Tap. I
me?
think I could share that.
From the Right to Rock session?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, what do you got?
The ultimate story. You got a minute?
Go.
All
Yeah,
right.
we got a few minutes.
Oh
Go
my
for it.
God. All right, all right. This is classic. There were days during the sessions when I think this is very near the end where the vocals were pretty much done, except for the 2 that I had to redo. This is before the erasure of those 2 lead vocal tracks. My work is pretty much done. All I had to do on this given day was go in and do the final scream, because as you have heard some of my music, the opening screams and the final scream of the song, you don't just sing all day and then do that. I mean, so we would save the end screams, like on You're the Victim or Speed Demon or whatever, some of those really Electric Love, some of those heavier tunes. Well, they're all heavy tunes.
Right.
But it was the scream on pretty sure it was You're the Victim, I'm the Crime. There's one song that's got this big, long, endless scream at the end. And that's all I had to do today, right? So I figured, I got one scream to do.
Right.
So we stayed up all night drinking and partying. And, you know, I'm in rare form when I get to the studio at 9 a.m. And part of my deal was, because I've made it now, I'm a rock star, right? Part of my deal was when I walk into the studio every day, whether it's 1 line or 6 hours or whatever my work has to be, there's going to be a music stand with a bottle of Jack Daniels and a pack of Marlboro Reds on the music stand waiting for me, right? So and this really nice, big, expensive Neumann U87 microphone on a big boom stand. And I go in this morning, and all I got to do today is just one big, heavy scream. And the object is to hit the high note and hold it out as long as you possibly can, right? That's your objective. And this was the morning that Gene Simmons invited all of his friends to the session. You have to come see the band I'm working with. Come see Keel record. And it was songwriters and other producers and friends. It was like Gene had this little entourage in the control room with him watching me record. And all I had to do was hit this one scream, right? So I cracked the bottle of Jack open, take a big swig, light up a Marlboro Red. All right, roll it. And the tape rolls, and I hit this big high scream at the top of my range, and I just held it out as long as I possibly could because I was trying to impress everybody in the control room, right?
Right.
And I just held it out and held it out and held it out until I passed out.
Oh.
Literally, I passed out
no.
from lack of oxygen, knocked the mic over, knocked the bottle of Jack over. The the whole studio. This is probably a $10,000 microphone. Are you kidding me? And I'm laying on the floor, spazzing out. I'm in seizures.
Oh my God.
And they're in the control room. They had no idea that I'd fallen down. They're all in the control room. Yeah, that was great. Yeah,
Oh, jeez.
Or they thought I was just so pleased with the result that I was laying on the floor celebrating.
Yeah.
I'm having some kind of epileptic seizure because of lack of
jeez.
oxygen to my brain.
Oh, my
And
God.
luckily, the microphone was not damaged, but I lost half a bottle of Jack in the process.
Well, there you go. Oh my God. There you go. What a way to end things. I mean, that is a certified Spinal Tap go to 11 type moment, I think.
We call it the brain dance, and still
Yeah.
to this day, we call it the brain dance. When you're up on stage, it's middle of summer, it's 110 degrees out, you're running around the stage, you're belting it out, you're screaming really loud, and you start to lose oxygen. Uh-oh. You just go down on one knee. Just go down on one knee.
Right.
Catch your breath. Okay, I'm all right. Just stand back up.
Yeah.
You don't want to do that live.
Right. Oh my God.
I've been close so many times, Ruben. I tell you, man, because you're up there, you're trying to give it all you got,
Mhm.
and you want to hold that long high note as long as you possibly can. You go, uh-oh, too long. Go down on one knee and just bow your head. Take a breath. Hopefully, your eyes will clear. You'll get
Sure.
your breath back. You'll be able to stand up again. And on with the show.
There you go. Oh my God. Well, Ron, hey, it was a blast chatting with you yet again, and
My
hope to
pleasure,
do it
man.
again.
Thank
I
you.
mean, I'm sure we'll be chatting at some point here in the near future with all the various different irons you have in the fire and bands that are on the label and everything in between.
Anytime, Ruben. I appreciate that. And I hope that you will, as you supported me so
Correct.
strongly for so long, support our new releases and bands
yeah.
like The Fifth and Bad Marriage.
Bad
Get those
Marriage.
guys on your
Yeah.
show and help us out. We
You know,
appreciate it.
that's
You mean a lot to us.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll definitely connect again and try to get something lined up with somebody from Bad Marriage.
Okay.
I think that would be awesome. And just so you're aware, I am going to put links to all the various different social media links and everything. So we'll have that
appreciate that,
tagged
man.
on there, and then we'll pass it along. You can share it and go. We'll go from there. I mean, 40,
I'm glad
40
we got
years
to
of
do
the right
this.
to
I'm
rock.
glad your wife is okay, man.
Yes.
After all you've
Thank
been
you.
through today. That's a short SM7B you've got there, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tilt it up so I can see your settings. I want to steal your settings.
You want to steal my settings?
Absolutely. You sound
Tilt it-
great. No, back the other way. Back the other way.
Oh, back the other way.
that switch
it-
on the back.
Here, let me
Have you ever messed
do
with
this.
that?
No, I don't mess with it.
It just came that way from the factory.
Yeah, it's
Because
just
your audio is great, man. Yeah, I
Nice.
want to
Well,
steal those
that's-
settings.
I'll send you a snapshot of what.
Do that. Thank
Yeah,
you.
I
Man.
will.
Very cool.
Hey,
I
man.
appreciate you.
Thank
Ruben.
you
You're
so
the
much.
best, man.
Yeah, I
Thank you.
appreciate you hanging with me because this was almost a go to 11 moment for me because I was like, oh.
No doubt, man. I get it. I'm glad
Yeah.
she's okay.
Thank you, sir.
All right, buddy.
All right, we'll get you a link and thanks so much.
My pleasure.
And I will
Anytime.
connect with you about Bad Marriage too.
Okay.
By the way. All right.
Jody
Thank you,
Best is
sir.
handling all that stuff, man.
Yep.
Set it up through Jody, and we'll.
Sure.
The record's not coming out for a few months, but we appreciate your support.
Sure. I mean, we'll just keep an eye out and have that in the mix.
All right.
All right.
Thank you,
Thank
man.
you so much.
All right.
Yeah. Take care. Thanks.
You too.
Yep.
Bye.